The Google Gang Podcast.
Well, you have to with me. There's so much going on, you know?
I know.
Like,
so much.
yeah. Yeah. Saw a guy got hit by a car today.
Really?
Yeah, on his bike. So he was
That doesn't make it better.
being environmentally conscious and everything. Like,
Yeah, and what does he get
tosser.
for it? A bloody Toyota up the rear.
Yeah, yeah. To be fair, I completely am on his side. The lady just turned, didn't even look what she was doing.
That is what most ladies do, though, isn't it?
Yeah, women.
Shout out to everyone's favourite comedian, Paul Campbell. I mean, you've got to. Women. Amazing. Anna, where'd you get your jumper from?
Topshop, vintage, because I reckon it's like 2012, 2011, so that's vintage Topshop.
Oh, like you bought it in 2011. You didn't go there and shop in the vintage section where they just have like stale clothes that smell like a care home.
Oh, I'd love that.
Would you?
No.
That's a charity shop.
You know, there's You know, there's care homes, which I think is really sweet. They have like rooms that are dedicated to the decade that person would have been young. So all of the people there born in a certain decade that would have been young in like the 50s, there's like a whole area that's like got 50s style interior design, 50s music playing, like so they can feel comfortable. And
young
then
again.
yeah, and then when they get moved in, the people that run the nursing home take a photo of their front door and then get it printed into a sticker and put it on the front of their room's door. And then the front of the room, before you walk in, it has a little porch, and every carer, unless it's an emergency, will always like knock, and the old people in the rooms can come sit out on their porch as well, and it's like a road that's the hallway kind of thing, but it's all inside. So it was a really nice way to go to a nursing home.
What care home is this? Why are you spending so much time in care homes?
It's someplace in America. No, I saw an article on it and I'm like, I want to go there.
Like now or like in a few years?
I wouldn't mind now. That would be cool. Imagine if like us comics all got one floor. And like,
you know, there's things like hotels and that. Like,
it's not the same. It doesn't have the same heart to it. Like,
why? Because you can't poo in your bed.
Yeah, I want the staff of a hotel to treat me as though I have dementia.
We're 2 minutes in. You're a problem.
I'm probably going to get dementia. I've already planned.
Have you thought about the way you're going to die?
Oh, it's because my family go crazy. We have crazy genes.
Okay.
No one on either side of my family has cancer, so touch wood, but we get crazy. So
you didn't have to tell me that your family has crazy genes. Like,
no,
you know I've met
but
you.
Maybe I told you because mental. Anyway, let me speak. Otherwise, I won't put down the kitchen knife.
We are in my kitchen, for those that are wondering.
But I've noticed you put the knives away. Good boy.
She's looking for knives.
Not the toaster, though. You fucking idiot. Amateur.
What are you going to do with a toaster?
Oh, wouldn't you like to know?
I would, that's why I asked.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I'm not going to tell you. This isn't my first time, okay? You don't tell the orderly what your plans are. Learned that the first rodeo. But the reason why I know I'm going to be, I'm going to probably get dementia is because like that's what my grandparents and stuff have had. But I've already planned for what I'm going to do to get my kids ready. Like, so if they come over with their kids, I'll be like, it's lovely to see you. Why have you brought so many dwarves to my house? And they're going to be like, those are your grandchildren, Mum. I'm like, just kidding, but one day I won't be.
Get fucking ready.
Yeah, and I'm going to like...
strap yourself in, because I am mental.
I'm going to get so crazy up in here. And I'm going to shoplift all of the Christmas presents.
Who the fuck are these kids? Da, 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 da. I've eaten all the scones. Grandma's account.
I'm telling one of the kids, like, you should, have you ever considered a career in the circus? Because you are tiny. You're so small. But yeah, I want to shoplift all of their presents, because even before I'm crazy, like, if a security guard comes over and goes like, excuse me, ma'am, blah, 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 I can be like, what year is it? And they'll just let me off. They'll just take the shit off me and let me go. But there'll be times where they don't catch me. And then when the kids are opening up their presents, the moment they get all attached to it, going, thanks, Grandma. Oh, my God, a hoverboard or whatever the fuck we're doing those days. I'm going to turn to my kids and be like, they're all stolen. And they're just going to have to deal with the knowledge that their kids are playing with stolen shit. It's going to be great.
I would hate to be a part of your life beyond like this moment right now.
Because I'm gonna raise my kids in Australia, so you're just gonna live upstate.
Yeah, like so far upstate.
Oh no, but, like we're gonna have like teleportation devices.
I'm moving to Rockhampton, mate. They're not gonna get teleportation there for fucking ages.
True, but I'll teleport to like a nearby city and then just
Gladstone.
Well, look. The thing is, guys, I don't even know these places. Like,
you don't know Gladstone?
Nah.
What?
Well, is it out in the sticks though?
No.
Is it out in the bush? Is it sticks in the bush?
Oh.
An outback experience. Plug.
Me and Anna Spark are doing an Edinburgh show, for those of you that don't know, because I've realised trying to explain Gladstone to an Australian, majority of these podcast listeners are English. We do get some Aussies that would be screaming at you right now.
Well, a lot of my Aussie mates are going to listen to this and we'll see.
Imagine Hull. That's Gladstone.
So it is sticks.
I guess.
And it's a lot of crime and crack.
Yep.
And you want to live near there.
Well, to get away from you, yes.
I'm worse than crime and crack. That makes sense. That's fair. I completely okay with that. I want to live in Healesville.
Okay.
Which is very lush. It's on the wet side of the mountain, so even though they get bushfires, it's just the wood's a little bit more damp that side, so maybe we've got a little bit more time before it gets a bit steamy.
I've never heard someone speak so nonchalantly about bushfires. Again, all the things that English listeners can relate to as we sit inside a freezing Manchester kitchen as the rain pours down outside, and I think, what a fucking huge mistake I've made.
But then remember bushfires and go, actually, it's better than ash pouring outside.
I've never been involved in a bushfire, though.
I was around in Melbourne for Black Saturday.
Oh.
So we were sitting on the balcony.
Explain Black Saturday to everyone.
Black Saturday was one of the worst bushfires that Australia has seen, and it killed something like 200 people. It was the core of the bushfires around about 3,000 degrees Celsius. So people would try and seek shelter in their pools and be boiled alive. People would come back to their homes and the metal that was the foundation beams and stuff like that was melted into the ground. It was, to put it lightly, hectic. And we were on our balcony, which is in view of the city, is like a good 50 or 60 kilometers away from the fire. I don't know what that is in miles because I'm not from the Stone Ages.
About 40 miles. There
you go. Thank you. And the ash from the fire was falling from the sky onto our street. It looked so surreal. It looked like something out of like one of those movies where stuff's going on. You know those movies?
Yeah, like Sharknado.
Thank you.
Yeah. Except instead of having great white sharks on your balcony, you have ash. Like, it's basically the same.
Yeah. And an ashtray, thank God. It's been a disaster.
What better time to spark up?
Just held out the ashtray outside the balcony. Getting some of it.
Yeah. Dad, gonna need another ashtray. Bring my Glad bags. A lot of Australian references there for the UK audience.
Have a Google of Glad bags and you'll be glad.
You will. You won't be sad if you Google Glad
bags.
So this is gone downhill very, very quickly.
Yeah, which bushfires can also do. Anyway.
Right, let's move away from bushfires and let's focus on the happy times that happen in the bush. Stop doing jokes about people dying of natural disasters.
Okay, alright, okay.
Let's talk about happy times in the sticks.
Yeah,
and in the bush.
Okay.
And sticks in the bush and outback experience.
Alright. I used to work on a sheep farm.
Did ya?
When I was a kid, yeah. Had to cut off the dags, which is shit-encrusted wool around a lamb's arsehole, which is fun.
How much did you pay? How much did you get paid for that?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, you did it for the love of the game.
Nope, neither.
Oh, right.
I was forced into it because my parents thought that it would make me a better person.
And it hasn't.
No.
I cut shit off a sheep's asshole, and I'm still a cunt. The Anna Spark story. That's the name of your autobiography.
Well, I also put like rubber bands around their tails and stuff, which is not nice to do.
Why did you do that?
Because their tails have got to come off, otherwise they'll get worms. Because the shit will go around a sheep's tail is actually like the length of a dog's tail.
Right.
And if you allow that to sit there while they're shitting and pissing, then they will get extremely sick. And
who's pissing out their ass though?
Well, they're going to sit in it. Look, I don't know, maybe another sheep is going to piss on their ass. They're into some kinky crap. Okay? I've seen it. Rams are aggressive, but kind of hot.
I was just going to ask you if you've ever thought about what it's like to be with a ram.
I've considered which animal, if I was like going to humanize an animal, is the sexiest animal.
Okay.
I think I'm torn between 3 different animals.
Why? How is it 3?
Or maybe 4.
She's just remembered fucking zebras.
No. These are manly animals. So grizzly bear.
Okay.
Polar bear. Polar bear's the kind of bear that you'd bring back to meet your parents. Like, he's got his shit together. He's got
an igloo.
Yeah. He knows he's a
stockbroker
and he made it from scratch. Like, and he's got shares in the Coca-Cola company.
He's a bit like Drake.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's white but he's got black skin. Because actually polar bears do have black skin. Anywho, just like Drake, he's Drake. Yeah, okay. Grizzly bear is kind of like your ex-boyfriend from uni that all of your friends said you were better than and would always get into fights, but there's something about his like manliness that you just keep on getting drawn back to.
He's Darren Stewart.
Yeah. Wait, I don't know who Darren Stewart is.
No, you don't. He's just a guy from uni.
Oh, right, yeah. He's Daz. And it's only when you like see him again when you're like 30 and you think about it again, but he's actually like scratching his back on the corner of a store or something and you realise that grizzly wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Then there's the silverback gorilla, who is the one that you consider having an affair with.
Okay. Why?
Because he's got that manliness that the grizzly had.
Okay.
But he seems like more protective of you and more... He's more there for you, but as you get to know him, he's really fucking stupid.
Do you feel like he's got a dick on him, but he'll let you give his dick a cuddle?
He'd spoon you, but he'd also rip someone else limb from limb, and you haven't seen that hot side of him when you first meet him.
Yeah, okay.
And then you see the rage flashes, and you go, why would I ever try and ruin my marriage with this beautiful lion? See, that's the husband one.
Oh, I see.
Because he lets me be an independent woman.
Okay.
Well,
Are you a lion in this situation, or are you still Anna?
I'm probably like a liger. Oh yeah, no, I'm Anna, but in the body of an animal that would be...
Oh, right, okay, you're just not...
This is like Zootopia or something.
Okay.
I think I'd probably be a fox. And that's not for the whole like pun of foxy lady or whatever, it's just... I just think I'm probably... I'd happily look for food in garbage like things, but I'm also intelligent.
One of my friends in the Navy tamed a fox in a car park, and now the fox is his friend.
Oh.
And him and the fox hang out every night. He's having an affair with the fox because the leader of his fucking platoon or whatever. I don't know how the Navy works. I never made it in.
I don't know how he met a fox while in the Navy, but...
Well, basically, there's like a bushland next to a car park on the Navy base, right? Mm-hmm. Note this down, 13 minutes 38, Anna finishes her first glass of wine.
Yeah. Wait, let's get the glugs.
Just don't spill it on my table. So anyway, so he's on the Navy base, and obviously the Navy can be quite a lonely place, especially when you're a young single male.
And you're straight.
Yeah.
If you're gay, have a great time.
You're dropping the soap all over the shop. But he was out in the car park one night just hanging out, being himself, and he saw this fox come up, and he was like, sort of the fox got maybe like 10 metres from him and was just sort of like sounding him out. And then every night he'd go back and the fox would come back, and every night it would get slowly like closer and closer, but it would get closer and it would come away.
Now?
Well, no, this is relax, all right?
Sorry,
Let me tell the fucking story.
Something similar happened to me, but I'll tell you after.
Okay, well, keep it to yourself because nobody cares.
Wow. friends of mine unleashed on Matty.
Yeah, fucking come for me. I've given up ages ago.
When he met me. Anyway, carry on.
So the fox keeps getting closer and closer, and then he's like, right, I feel like it's close enough that if I bring some food, I might be able to like get it close. So the fox, he gets close enough to like eat like a stick of bread. And obviously they're only given a certain amount of food in the Navy. So he's holding his food that he's supposed to be eating and taking it to the car park.
They won't give them extra food in the Navy.
Well, you sit down for meal times, you eat, and then it's gone. You don't just have a supermarket where you just come and go as eat as you please.
They don't have vending machines or anything?
No, they eat at like structured times.
Jesus Christ,
like it's breakfast,
they're defending
lunch.
Our country. Let them have a bit of extra food.
No, but they can have the food. What I mean is they eat at specific times. So he's like smuggling food out of the mess hall where they eat, like in his pockets, whatever. He's got like bloody breadsticks and
like
coconuts.
Shawshank Redemption.
It is like the Shawshank Redemption, but what he's trying to do is fuck a fox. So anyway, he gets there and the fox starts eating the food, but at first it won't eat it out of his hand. He puts it down, the fox eats it. It's now to the point where he'll come and sit. The fox will sit next to him and they'll just eat food together and hang out. However, in between that point of the fox being his mate and it putting food on the ground, he got caught by like a head officer and they were like, no more feeding the fox, no more. And he was like, okay, I won't. And now he has to feed the fox in secret. But he can't help himself.
Has he named it?
He's addicted to the fox. Well, he named it a boy's name.
It's clearly a girl.
Yeah, it is. Well, he named it Barry when it was like far away from him. And then as it got closer, he's obviously realised it's a girl. It's not, packing that fox sausage.
Well, also girls are braver.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
From my experience.
In what sense? Like girl foxes?
I think they are more curious because they have to raise cubs. Like a male fox only has to fuck and then fuck off. So he has no reason to be interested in like anyone else. Like he's just it's like a lone wolf kind of thing.
Okay.
But like I think a female fox would just look, this is genuinely I'm taking this out of my own kind of like assumptions, and also because I am a female fox, I'm more curious. But
in what sense?
No, I used to be. It's died. But I used to be more curious.
But in what sense? Describe how you're more curious because you're a woman.
No, that makes no sense for me. But I feel like in the animal kingdom...
Well, describe your train of thought, because you've made such a bold statement. But
well, I'm usually like...
Well,
okay, well, like if there was something that... Like, for example, one time I was looking at a question mark and I'm like, why the fuck is it a question mark? How did it get there? So I went and found out, and it's from the Latin word questio, and then slowly we shortened it to a capital Q over an O, and then slowly we made that a question mark. So I just go and... whenever... when I, like, spout out little bullshit facts... That's because I've thought about that, and I'll go and find out because I don't like not knowing anything. But then there'll be times where I've gone to tell someone something that I think is really interesting, and I'll get shut down because they can't be asked.
Yeah, it's sort of like that question mark fact.
Yeah, but it's like, why wouldn't you want to... I get so confused if someone doesn't want to know that.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't... You want to live your life and not know as much as you can? Anyway,
do you feel like the question mark will develop further from where it is, or do you feel like we've reached the most efficient way to express it?
Cool, that's good. That's a good question.
Is that something more to think about? Is this too much for you?
No. Projection of thought is pretty interesting.
Abbreviations.
Yeah.
ATM.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Like, we do shorten everything as much as possible.
Cam just getting involved. He said abbreviations like ATM.
Yeah.
But can you abbreviate the question mark?
I feel like at the moment, I'm at a wall for it.
Do you feel like language will become obsolete very soon?
No. It will just develop.
Really?
Yeah. It's because, like, if you look into the history of language, it's pretty fascinating how we do develop, and like how we develop slang and dialects and different contexts for different words. How the word cunt back in the 1600s was a medical term. So you could easily have a doctor come to your door and be like, hello, I'm here to see you about your wife's cunt. And the guy might go, yeah, 100%, she's upstairs. Well, you wouldn't say 100%, they didn't have percentages back then, but we were like, yeah, no, she's upstairs, thank you so much for coming. Her cunt's been bothering her for days. Like, completely normal. But now it's like, if someone turned up to some guy's door and said, I'm here to see you about your wife's cunt, he'd get knocked the fuck out. Even if he had a stethoscope on.
Yeah, stethoscopes don't mean shit.
Yeah.
We're talking about cunts.
Yeah.
I've done a Google for you, and
Yeah.
you'll be happy to know that the newest language that's been discovered is Walpiri. And do you know where it comes from?
No.
Have a guess.
Is it to do with the internet?
No.
Is it to do with emojis and stuff?
No.
Well, is it an actual country's language? Oh, so it's like an indigenous culture that we've only just recently found, like the Amazon or something like that. Or no, it would be like Australia.
Walpiri is an indigenous people living in the Tanami Desert in Australia's Northern Territory.
Did they come out in the 70s?
It came out in the 70s
Yeah,
and 80s.
they were the last tribe. They were the ones that they'd been there. So we got there, in 1806? Something like that. Yeah, exactly. And they didn't find out about us. They walked out of the bush and they were the last indigenous people to see white people for the first time in the 70s.
So they're not the youngest language, are they?
They're the youngest discovered. White people have this tendency of putting age on it, just how long we've known about it.
Okay, Afrikaans is the youngest language, being dubbed as a real language by the government in 1925.
But it doesn't mean it hasn't
It's
been
a
spoken
mixture.
for ages.
It's a mixture of Dutch, German, English,
nice.
Portuguese, French, Bantu, Cohesion, Malay. Afrikaans is the official language of South Africa.
Because of slave trade.
What do you mean?
They would have blended all those languages because there were so many slavers from different countries going to
Interesting. And going to South Africa.
Going to many different countries. I believe you can speak... Like, Afrikaans obviously is majorly in South Africa, but I'm pretty sure there'll be other countries that speak it too. I think so. The Dutch definitely were massive slavers. The Dutch were real assholes, to be fair.
That's why their canals look so nice.
Well, they're also they're very organised. My dad told me this interesting thing about. So my dad, he doesn't talk at all unless he's stoned.
Okay.
And when he's stoned, he comes out with the most amazing knowledge that I'm just like. That's
So is he
locked
like
up
an
in your brain.
absorber? Is he like a sponge that just gets wetter and wetter, and then you sprinkle a bit of THC on him and it just like squeezes all the knowledge out of him?
Yeah, but I don't like thinking about my dad getting wetter and wetter. But yeah. Other than that,
Your dad's a wet guy.
100%. Yeah.
I'd love to meet your dad. I think it would answer so many questions. And I'd also love you to meet my dad.
I would love to meet your dad. But
Yeah.
I don't think meeting my dad would answer loads of questions.
No,
for
it
you.
would.
I think meeting my mum would answer loads of questions. Meeting my uncle, my dad's brother, would answer loads of questions. But my dad isn't anything really like me.
No, my dad's nothing like me as well, and that's where the answers to the questions lie.
Oh. So if
This
you
is
meet my
fascinating.
dad's
If you meet my
younger
mum,
brother-
you'd be like, oh yeah, makes sense. Whereas your dad would be fascinating.
When they meet my parents, everyone assumes that my personality is from my mum's side.
Mm.
But then they just meet my dad's youngest brother. Well, he's only got one brother. He's only got one sibling. But my dad's brother.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh.
Does he take it to a new extreme? Does he make your mum look tame?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Intriguing.
And the reason why my dad's quiet is just because, we think he's like he's got kind of Asperger's tendencies, but he doesn't have, we haven't ever had him diagnosed or anything like that. Took us like bloody 2 years to get his cholesterol checked, let alone take him to a psych. There's no way we'll ever get him to figure that out. But I can't be bothered telling you that thing before.
Is your dad a pretty like nonchalant guy? Like nothing really phases him. He just wakes up in the morning, he does what he needs to do, and then he just enjoys the rest of his time to himself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
quite quiet.
that's fair.
But then it can just suddenly energy spike and then just disappear again.
Yeah. That's
Always
like my
falls
dad.
asleep at the table by 9 p.m.
Oh no, my dad never falls asleep at the table. My dad, I quite enjoy like watching his life and witnessing his life, because when I was a kid, I was like, oh my god, dad is so boring. Like all he does is go to work and then come home. Now look at his life, I'm like, it actually seems alright. Like it seems like he's quite fulfilled. I think one time, what an obnoxious little twat. I literally asked my dad, how could you be happy like doing what you're doing? Like if you tell me you're happy, you're lying. Because
That's
like
awful.
your life just appears to be so terrible. And he had to be like, Matt, I'm a 50-year-old man, like I figured this out, like I'm double your age, fucking bar down, you little shit.
You were 25 when you said that?
Oh no, but I was probably maybe like 18, but like
God, I thought that would be something like a
I'm
14-year-old would say.
not even 25 now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No.
Like, with my dad though, his days, he's impressive. Like, he'll get up naturally at about 5:30, 6 a.m.
Exactly the same, yeah.
Go and walk the dog, come home, go to work. He works as a heritage quantity surveyor, and he like prices all these old buildings and stuff, and he's so smart, so good. Like, he'll come home and he's like, oh yeah, I earned my company $1 million today with a contract, and then be annoyed that he hasn't got more than that because it's like a commission thing. He doesn't make commission, but he has to earn a certain amount to kind of earn his place in the company. And 1 million isn't enough. He has to earn something like 14 or something like that by the end of the year. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because it's big jobs. But and then like just does his stuff, and then he'll take a couple of days off and not actually take a day off. He'll use those days to renovate a part of the house. He'll just like he was putting bricks down in the back garden, and like wanted to put it all bricks, and he found this particular type of red brick that was in tune with the right year that our house is and all this stuff. And then the guy that was giving him the bricks ran out, so he had to go get a new one. So it changed colour, and I thought, oh Dad, it's all right, it looks two-tone. He said, no, I'm just gonna lay it all out, see how many I need, and then I'm gonna take it all up again and shuffle them. And just the idea that he was going to do the job twice just to make sure he could do the job right
baffles me.
Yeah.
And it baffles you as well, because me and you are too fucking similar, and our dads are the same, and answers so many questions. So many questions. I don't give a fuck about your mum, because she's probably just like my mum. Fucking mad. Yeah, mad. Absolute mad woman. That is so funny. Our dads should meet. That's what should happen. But does your dad smoke weed? No. See, my dad's a stoner. Okay. So my dad, but I reckon the one time my dad might smoke weed would be because my dad will make it not a thing. It's not like, he'll just have a joint. Like, he'll just roll it and then be like, and it's not, because he's in his 60s, it's not something like oh no I don't. It's like, my dad is the senior of the room. If he's sparking one and he offers it to you, you fucking take it. But yeah, he treats it as a reward. I've always said I'd prefer a stoned dad than a drunk dad, because not only does he only do it at the end of the day, he's not going to wake and bake, but he also cooks. Yeah. Like, I've told people on stage this, but this is the body of not a drunk dad or a dad that's addicted to coke. It's the body of a dad that's stoned the whole time. Look at these curves. They don't come from just someone who doesn't fry everything they touch. They come from a dad that literally, with bloodshot eyes, will turn to me and be like, do you want to eat? And I'm like, yes, father. Do you feel like a pasta bake? Yes. Yes. He's like, good, I already made stir fry. Tuck into that. I'll put the pasta bake on. I'll put the pasta. Yes, Dad. There's a reason why I was bullied from a weight, and I love you for it. Fucking hell. So what was school like for you? Because you say famously that you are who you are now as someone who was bullied, then became the bully, and now realises it's not good to bully anyone. Oh, I can't be bothered bullying anyone. Okay, it's because you're extremely lazy, and we'll get to that in a second. Sometimes I do bully when I get the energy. Really? Who's the last person you bullied? This guy at my work. Okay. Well, I didn't bully him. He deserved it, but I just didn't back down. Okay. And it's a very different attitude for Brits. Mm-hmm. So this was in England? This was a week ago. Oh, wow. What happened? It's shop talk for anyone listening, but basically he was below his station. I'm a bit above him, and he hates that because I've been promoted. I used to be at his level, and he kept on asking me to do something that my department does do, but not for his department. We do it for a department that's above his, and he was trying to use our function, which is like call tracing, listening to calls, which can take a little while because you've got to locate the call and blah blah blah, and basically he wanted us to do this so that he didn't have to do his job, which is actually seeking the information from the customer. And he was the only agent in his department that was having the audacity to continually ask us. So instead of ringing back to recollect details, he wanted to hear his recording. He's in emails. Yeah. He wanted us to listen to the recording, take notes, and tell him what happened. It's like asking a manager to do a menial task for you. It's just not necessary. So I went over one morning and asked him to stop. With his manager's permission, I spoke to him. And then by the afternoon, he sent another one through. So I listened to it. I made sure bloody well listened to it, took it down each point and explained exactly why it was completely stupid that I had to waste part of my day listening to a call that had exactly what he was saying in the history of the account.
as blah blah blah, and then pointed out the mistakes he'd made while speaking to the customer. It was really satisfying, and I've shown it to 4 different colleagues, and they all love it because he's a known dick.
Really?
Oh my god! Today I was feeling a bit down, and I reread the email I sent him, which he never replied to, and he hasn't sent a call trace since. And I just like got a little bit like flooded my basement slightly. Like,
yeah, I get you.
it was amazing.
That's really good. That's good that you still get that buzz from making people feel this big.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
really just cut them down.
I'm
to
a
size.
real cunt. I'd like, this is what I told my co-worker. I was like, everyone, because I'm nominated at work for most sparkling personality in the Christmas party awards, and and I was like, the funny thing is like, I am nice. I try very hard to be as friendly as possible because
hard.
Well, like when someone annoys me and stuff, I will.
I thought it was effortless for you.
No. I will decide whether I think it's worth it, and I like that's the thing. That's how I. So when I got bullied, I got bullied for my weight and the fact that I stood out. I was really tall and stuff like that, and then eventually I realized I'm way bigger than all of these little bitches, so I'm gonna just tell them to fuck off.
Yeah.
And then I kind of took it too far and sometimes made girls feel a bit shitty because they'd made me feel shitty. But in reflection, I think I was better than that. I shouldn't have gone that far. I didn't ever like actually make anyone cry or anything, but I like.
How do you know you didn't make them cry though?
I don't, but I know that the only people that I did this to had made me cry already.
Okay.
So I would like kind of figure out a way to make them feel as humiliated as I had felt. But it like.
What was the sort of things that they would like say, like described as bullying to me?
They'd tell me to join diet programs and like they'd make fun of me for eating the crust of my sandwiches and like they
Kids are so fun.
They'd like these 2 girls that were supposed to be my best mates would like alternate on days when whether they were going to talk to me or not.
Really?
Yeah. And then
they'd like ring each other on the way to school, be like, "Are you talking to Anna today? No, I don't want to. You do it. Oh no, I don't want to. Oh, let's just both ignore her."
Well, then when they would want to like fight with each other, I'd just save MSN conversations and edit them to make myself look like an angel, like I'd never said anything against the other person. Print it off and give it to the other girl. Because I was like, look, she's a psycho. She's bitching about you. And then just pitch them towards each other, and then I'd be scot-free.
You're the most disgusting manipulator I've ever met.
Yeah.
That is terrible.
You can't do that anymore with like Facebook Instant Messenger anyway. So.
Have you tried?
Well, you get screenshots, don't you? So. Never tried, just knew. Obsolete.
Obsolete. My plan to squabble among skilled school children has been undone. Fucking
But
hell.
now I do think it's more rewarding to be nice to someone. I just know that sometimes there are people that will not. This guy he's been an arsehole for a long time. I've worked there for like 8 months now, and I've never gotten along with him. He's a massive snob. He's rude to a few people. He's very attention seeking. He's one of those people that if someone made a joke and he likes that person, he will over the top laugh, where he'll be standing at one point when the person says the joke, and by the end of his laugh he'll be like 3 meters away because he's like tumbled with the laughter, and it's like a shriek of laughter. And I've gone like, mate, I've seen so many live comedians that I respect and admire and love to the bottom of my heart, like Billy Connolly and stuff, and I've never laughed that much. No one laughs that much. You attention seeking little whore.
Right, so enough of your work-based issues. Let's
Because this is I've gone bushfires.
bushfires to offer squabbles.
I'm so sorry, guys. I am a bitch though. So.
Well, let's take it back to some work that you actually care about. Is stand-up comedy and your personal solo show in Edinburgh, because you've actually got a plan as to what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Do you?
Kind of.
Oh fuck. Maybe I've jumped in too quick.
Do you mean my show or our show?
No, your show. Let's talk about you for a sec, because I know that's the only reason you made the effort to come here.
No.
That was fun.
I wanted to catch up with Cam.
Yeah. No, Cam's so excited you're here. Cam couldn't give a fuck, for those that can't see. He's literally got headphones in and he doesn't care.
Have you got a response? No.
Right.
Sorry.
Let's refocus. So tell us about your show. It is called Holy Fetus.
Yeah. It's going to be a show about all of the things that have embarrassed me and how they shouldn't be embarrassing, and then eventually I will touch on the topic of abortion and how I've been through it, and how people want you to feel shame about stuff like that, but you really don't need to. But it's going to be way funnier than that.
Woohoo! She sips her red wine. So why do you think people are forced to feel shame about abortions?
Because it's like, oh, you're not doing what a woman's body's meant to do. Society, there's so many different factors. Society, religion, and just social aspects put you on the wayside. Like, I felt like I couldn't tell anyone. My mum didn't want me to tell anyone because she's from a different generation. So she felt like it was something that should be private. But then if I told anyone, they always never knew what to say. But it's a choice. That's all it is. It's literally, it's a simple choice. It's like a choice between whether look, in retrospect, it's a big choice whether I have a kid or whether I don't have a kid, but who knows whether the kid would have even got past first trimester. Like, it's just a choice of, I don't want to be a mum yet, just as much as a choice of taking a form of contraception is. It's my body, it's in my control, but for some reason, the moment that I've made a mistake, and I'm not even the only person that made it, the other dude that I was with made it too. It's my responsibility. It's on me. He left the day we found out I was pregnant. I have not seen him since then, face to face. He's called me names over the phone, though, which was nice.
What sort of names?
Dickhead, drama queen.
Why, though?
Because I was asking for half the amount that it cost for the abortion.
Right. And how much was that?
$200. So
okay.
I was
so not a lot.
For 50 quid, really, on principle.
85.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough that he got annoyed.
It's a hard out here on these streets.
Yeah. And he had my coat, and he knew I wanted my coat back. So when he finally transferred me the money, he labelled it, "I'm keeping the coat."
Really?
And then he realised very quickly that I don't let go of shit. I learned that about myself, is I really don't forget anything. I can't let go of stuff. Everyone's like, just walk away, don't worry about it. It's only $100. It's only a coat. I'm like, it's a principle. So I kept going for another 4 months until he finally was like, I've left the coat in the lost property of this restaurant. Just go and get it, you fucking weirdo. And I was like, yes.
Got the coat?
Yeah.
No way.
I hounded him for that long.
That's hectic.
And then I gave it immediately to my friend. I was like, I never want to touch that coat again, but he's not going to get anything off me.
Not even a child?
No, definitely not a child.
Can I play devil's advocate for a second?
Go for it.
I want you to really express how you feel. So I'm going to say some things that might be unpopular. Do you feel like you are considered as like a life ender?
No.
Or a murderer?
No. If I considered myself as a murderer, then do you really think I'd be in this state? Like, when you were a fetus, do you remember those days?
No.
There you go. It's not fucking murder then, is it? Like, you haven't got any cerebral connections whatsoever. You're not alive yet.
Okay.
You are literally a little peanut.
Do you feel like you took the chance away from something that could have grown up and could have been amazing and spectacular? Do you feel like you made the decision to
That is the one
that?
thing I did struggle with.
Okay. How long was like the process of acceptance? Did it take you a while?
18 months.
18 months, okay.
Yeah. I felt like I'd eliminated hope.
For yourself? Or?
For the thing.
Okay.
So I thought the only thing that it could have felt is possibly hope. But that's just me being romantic. So I wrote this kind of like poem letter to it to say sorry, and that if it would like to, I'd be happy to have its soul in my firstborn child. I just can't have it now.
That's very interesting. Did someone tell you to write that?
No, I just felt like I needed to do some form of ceremony because it felt a little bit too blunt to just leave it. So me and my mum went up to this creek in Healesville area on the Black Spur, which is a lovely rainforest mountain range about 45 minutes out of Melbourne. And we went to this creek that I actually got blessed in when I was a baby. And so it's now in a national park, so we had to climb over illegally into this area.
Okay, so you broke the law.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But I got a legal abortion, so it's fine. Anyway, and we made the poem into a boat, and then I had a bouquet of flowers, and I read the poem to the stream, and then ripped up another copy of the poem and like put it in the water and put the boat down with some flowers in it, and then scattered some flowers into the water, then put flowers into the tree, and then put another copy of the poem under the tree. And it was supposed to kind of ask the soul to, because the cycle of water is the rain goes on the top of the mountain, turns into the rivers, goes down into the ocean, then evaporates back up into the clouds and goes to the top of the mountain. And I just was asking it to, in quote, roam the ocean and wait, although that be patient, my darling, although there isn't yet a date. That's a little piece from it. And it was like, I'm happy to have you back. I would love to be your mum. I just can't be your mum now.
That is so interesting.
Thank you.
Have you ever shared that with anybody that you know here?
Not in Australia, no. No, not in England. I mean, not in England, no.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm privileged that I was able to get that out of you. So, what then motivated you from that point where it was 18 months of acceptance and 18 months of feeling uncomfortable and sort of trying to be like, yeah, I'm fine, but you're not really fine?
Yeah.
What then got to the point where I'm going to write an award-winning stand-up set about this?
Well, I remember during the peak of my depression and anxiety, my comedian friends in Melbourne were saying, this will be material, and I remember telling them to fuck off and that it was never going to be funny. And
look at you now. 1 hour show in Edinburgh. Beat the Frog World Series.
Yeah.
King Kong at the comedy store. She's cleaning up awards.
You know it.
Yeah.
Then I heard Frankie Boyle on Mock the Week say the joke that got him in trouble, which was unlikely things you'd hear the Queen say, and he was like, I am so old, my pussy is haunted. And I found it very funny, and then I went, my pussy's haunted. And then
was that where it came from?
Yeah, and then
wow.
I wrote a joke about having a haunted vagina because it does have a dead thing in it. And
well, it did have a dead thing.
Did have a dead thing in it. And then, and then I just snowballed from there. And only after like my third abortion joke did I realise that I was joking about something that used to make me like lose sleep and take loads of drugs and stuff.
Okay. Was that a happy moment for you when you could laugh about it?
Oh, no, it was more just I guess that's happening now. And like, I don't actually find the memories of it funny. I never look at it and go, oh, remember that time when you were pregnant? Like, or going to the abortion clinic. I don't look at that time and think that was funny. I just remember feeling so alone and so shitty, and I never want anyone else to feel like that again. Because it isn't something that you should be ashamed of. It is something that you have the control to do. You are absolutely okay to do it. And yes, you will feel like shit, but that's because that's a natural reaction to ripping loads of hormones out of your body. And you shouldn't ever feel ashamed of making a choice that's right for you, because no one else should ever be in control of what you do with your life.
Interesting. I have another question for you, and I may be completely off the mark because
That's fine.
I don't understand how women's bodies work, right? However...
It's mainly on candy floss and wine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Monday night was a true reflection of that. What I wanted to ask was, when you do the pregnancy test, right, and you go, oh, I'm pregnant, have you already started feeling the changes in your own body?
No. Well, for me, I wasn't late for my period. I woke up in my room and didn't feel alone.
Interesting.
Yeah, I had this really weird moment. I just sat up in my bed and was like, something's not right.
Really?
Yeah. And I'd had my period 2 weeks prior, so I wasn't even close to being late. So I went and bought 4 pregnancy tests. It was 4-pack. No, I had one already from, I can't remember why. And then I'd never had a pregnancy scare before, so I can't remember why I already had one. And then I had a 3-pack, and 2 were positive and 2 were negative. And I was freaking out because I didn't know that you can't fake a positive. So I just didn't know what was going on. You can't fake a positive, you can fake a negative. Because it's all about the height of this particular hormone that's related to pregnancy. And you need to always do if you're early stages, you need to do a pregnancy test in the morning, because that's when it's first there. Don't pee before you do it, because you'll flush your system out.
So if you get a pregnancy test and it's positive, it's usually always positive, whereas it can be negative and you can still be pregnant.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So then I started freaking out about whether I was pregnant or not. and I went down to my local cafe, which is usually a quiet cafe. Apparently, it was fucking Mother's Club that morning. There was literally 12 prams, just loads of screaming babies, while I'm just like, fuck this is horrific. What the fuck is going on? Like, absolutely freaking out. And I knew that I was gonna have an abortion the moment I noticed myself rolling a cigarette, because if I was choosing to keep it, I would have not smoked. But I just knew when I realised that I was smoking. And
you've quit smoking now, haven't you?
Yes,
well
yes,
done.
I have. Probably because I'm pregnant.
Oh, how we laugh. To get pregnant, you have to have sex.
Yeah, I was literally about to make that joke. I haven't had sex in like 3 months. Anyway.
I don't want to hear problems.
It's not a problem. It's a blessing. Anyway, so I called the guy that I was sleeping with, and he's like, I was like, can you come here? Like, I'm pretty sure that I might be pregnant. Pardon me, sorry. Can you come here? And he's like, oh, I'm hanging out with my mates. Is there any way I could just see you tomorrow? And I was like, you know what? Fuck you. Like, I was like, fine, fucking hang out with your friends. Like, you're a piece of shit. And in that cemented me going, there is no way I'm going to have a child with you. No fucking chance am I letting your little cunty fucking brain be a part of my life for the rest of it. And then I called my mates, and 2 of my friends, Georgia Greenway and Liz Albiston, if they're listening to now, you are absolute legends.
Shout out to you, gals.
Yeah, I will always hold you in my heart for this, because we were always the broke bitches. We never had money. They spent their last few dollars to get a cab to me as quickly as possible.
Really?
Like, that meant so much, because I know how little money they usually have, and they literally just scrounged together their pennies to be able to get to me. And and then I went to the doctor's the next day, and the guy made me late, and before I went in, he said, whatever you do, don't cry. Oh no, before I went in the waiting room, he stole food out of a child's hand.
What?
I'm not even joking. There was this little kid who was eating a potato cake. If anyone's listening, that's a sliced bit of potato that's fried, but not like a chip, like a big...
Do they not have potato cakes here?
No. Well, I haven't spotted one. It's like the size, the length and diameter of a potato, but a slice that big kind of thing.
In batter.
Yeah, in batter. It's so good.
Yeah, with gravy.
Yeah. Well, I would always just have it salted, but okay. Anyway.
But you're crazy. So.
Yeah, I'm a pregnant mental cunt. So. Anyway, so I'm sitting next to Thomas Byrne, Byrne from Luton. And he was sitting next to me, and he obviously feels the awkward tension, because I've already had an argument with him in the car. I'm very stressed out. And he just thinks, instead of talking to my possibly pregnant girlfriend, I will speak to this child in front of me. It's like an 8-year-old. And he's like, that looks yummy, what's that? And he's like, potato cake. He's like, oh, let me have some. No. And they're having this game. And it
but he doesn't know the kid. He's
no,
just a random kid in the doctor's surgery.
No.
With a potato cake.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like doing this joke of, oh, let me have some. Oh, come on, let me have some. And in hindsight, at the beginning, it looked cute. It's like a little jesting.
You're
but
like,
then,
he's going to be a good father.
Oh, no, I didn't do that. I just thought that is a normal interaction for some very uncomfortable man to have. That's fine. But then out of nowhere, he genuinely reached across and took a bit of this kid's potato cake and ate it. And I just went, you know what, Tom, I think I've left my phone in the car. Can you go grab that for me, please? Give him my keys. The moment he walks out of the waiting room, I turn to the mum and I'm like, I am so sorry. I didn't know he was going to do that. I'm so sorry. And she's like, it's fine. It was Sammy's dinner until 8 p.m. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not raising a child with this man. There is no way. Anyway.
Shout out to Thomas Byrne. What a gangster nicking food off kids at
off a
doctor
child
surgery.
while he's waiting to find out if his girlfriend's pregnant.
Mate, I've been in some fucking awkward situations, and I can't eat. Like, when I get like angry or stressed, like, I can't eat. All power to him being like, shove a potato cake
that doesn't even belong to me.
That's right. Mate, we need more 8-year-olds with potato cakes in the world.
Yeah, and they're easy to mug. Anyway, he came back in, and before that we were planning on going into the appointment together. And when he came back in, I said, I'm going to go on my own. And he went, all right, well, whatever you do, don't cry. And I was like, well, I'm going to cry if I want to cry, because I'm going to be pregnant.
Do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, I'm going to be pregnant to you. Why the fuck wouldn't I cry? And I'm writing this bit at the moment where I'm going to be like, when I like come out and be like, you know what? I did cry, and then I realised that it's your biological matter, and I am happy to murder a piece of you.
That's rough as fuck.
I didn't say that to him. I said something way worse. And this is why I think he never spoke to me again.
You said, I never want to eat another potato cake with you ever again.
I would not lie like that. No, what I said, we had this massive argument in the car on the way home. He kept on like telling me to try and look at the silver lining. I kept on explaining to him I'm pregnant to him. Where is it? And then I dropped him off at his hostel, which is not what he wanted. He wanted to come to my house that night, and he was just being so rude to me until I just went really quiet. And my ex-boyfriend, who I'm still semi-friends with, said to me that he was always terrified whenever I got quiet because he knew he'd lost the argument. If I was screaming, I was still trying to find straws. But if I went quiet, it was like, oh, no. So
You've lost the argument, or he's lost it?
He's lost it.
Oh, right.
Because if I just suddenly go, and then just say something to him normal tone, then it's like, fuck, she's got something really good. So I just turned to him and was like, Tom, how many relationships have you been in? And he's like, 6. And I'm like, and how many of those have ended in a major argument? And he said, all relationships end in arguments. I'm like, no, they don't. Some end quite amicably. So all we can take from that is that you're the common denominator, and no matter who you're with, they'll eventually realise you're a cunt and leave you. And he just went, fuck you, and got out the car, and I never saw him again.
That is such a beautiful story.
Thank you. I still think about it when I want to cheer up, because when he gets divorced for the second time, he's still going to remember me saying that to him. It's going to be great.
Has he been married yet, or you don't know?
No, it's just I know he will be divorced.
Oh, that's beautiful. No, that's a touching story. Tom Byrne, shout out to you, my boy. Question for you, though, where I was going with that.
Sorry, is that too much?
No. This is what people want to hear. People want to get an insight into you without you spilling all the beans on your material, and this is where we needed to go. This is why I'm such an elite professional in what I'm able to do. But I wanted to ask, the moment after you went to the fertility control clinic, did you automatically feel different? Did your hormonal body, although you were there experiencing it, did your body just go, we're not raising a child anymore?
No, so I actually felt eerily normal. So before, funnily, because I was so early, and I went to the clinic after being referred by the doctor, he said, we don't meet people that are only 3 weeks pregnant, and we were going on a scuba diving holiday. So I had to go on a scuba diving holiday while pregnant because I wasn't pregnant enough to get a termination. You have to be a certain level of pregnant to get it. You can't just get it any time.
Really?
You have to have...
What's the thinking behind that?
You have to have a uterine, or whatever it's called, sac. You have to be able to ultrasound someone and be able to see that they're pregnant. If they're just 3 weeks pregnant, you won't be able to see that. And they need to be able to monitor whether you're still pregnant after the abortion, because they make you sign a thing saying that even if you don't want to have a second abortion after being found pregnant to be pregnant after the abortion, they'll hold you down and make you. It's fucked up.
Make you have another abortion?
Yeah, they'll drug you and make you do it, because they may have split a person in half. They may have... and then you could sue them for having a disabled child.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. They've got to take responsibility. If you're signing up being like, I don't want to have this child, all of it needs to go.
But the fucked up thing is they will have to drug and strap you down. Luckily, that never had to happen to me, but and I would have just gone in and had another one, but some girls might go, oh, it's an act of God, and be all like, yeah, I'll keep it, and it's like, no, you can't, and then they would have to had it done to them against their will, but they've signed a contract saying that they don't have any will in that situation.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
That is the dark side of abortion that no one talks about.
There's a darker side than people realise. It's very fucking dark.
Welcome to the Giggle Gang podcast, everybody. Who's up for a laugh on a fucking Tuesday, arvo?
Exactly.
Fucking hell.
So after it, I felt almost like a failure because I wasn't over it. So because you have the abortion, you go, cool, done, sorted, right? I'm sorted, right? I should be fine, right? No, that's that's the period of time where you lose your support network because you're no longer, in their eyes, going through it. And I can understand why they look at it like that, but that's actually when you need the support network most, because your hormones just play tricks on you. You literally, it's like you have PMS for 6 months. Your brain just goes AWOL and you don't know what's going on. You feel depressed, you feel erratic, you feel physically hurt by it, and mentally hurt. You feel almost like you've gotten out of an abusive relationship while people are telling you, great, you got out of the abusive relationship, you're still feeling scars from it, so it's not easy to just suddenly go, oh, okay, I feel fine. So that's, and the fact that I didn't feel fine made me feel worse because I felt like I was supposed to.
You thought it was a mistake or what have you? You thought you made an error?
Well, no, not so much that. I knew I'd made the right choice. That was actually the issue with when people tried to help me, they'd go, oh, you made the right decision, as though that was what I was sad about. I wasn't sad about the decision. I was completely at one with the decision. That was fine. It was something that you can't control. It was like chemical depression. So you just get really sad about it. I'd get, like, for example, some things that I wouldn't have expected to make me upset just made me burst into tears. Like the end of the very last Hunger Games movie. So when I read the Hunger Games books, the bit that made me sob was when Prue dies.
Okay.
Because that's her little sister and I have a little sister, and the idea of losing my little sister just genuinely kills me. Like, there's no way I would be able to survive something like that.
Doesn't she die in a bed of flowers though? It's quite nice.
No, that's Rue.
Oh, that's Rue, sorry.
Prue, her little sister. Now that's badly named by the author though, isn't it? They shouldn't have made it rhyme.
That's all I remember is
Rue was lovely.
Black girl dying in a bed of flowers.
Yeah, well, she's in like the first book or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the third, and I thought that would make me cry when I watched the movie, but it didn't. It was still sad, but it didn't. The bit that made me cry was the happy bit at the end, where Jennifer Lawrence is holding her baby while Peter, or whatever his name is, and
Peter Malak.
Yeah, Peter Malak, but the actor I was thinking, because her name's not Jennifer Lawrence, but
his name's Josh something.
Josh, yes, yeah. Anyway,
Hutcherson,
thank you.
Movie chat.
Yeah, there you go. Playing with their son in the field, and she's holding a little baby, and the baby wakes up out of a bad dream, and she starts talking to her. And I was in the drive-in movies with my friends, and I just saw her go like, "Did you have a bad dream? Are you okay?" And I just burst into tears, like out of nowhere. Just was like, and like literally just had a full-blown panic attack, ugly cry. And my friends who were watching this heartwarming moment in the film just turned to me, literally going, and they're like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "It's just she just wants to love it, and like they're happy, and like."
Oh my god, Anna!
I just did, and it would just take me by surprise. Like, and the other time that happened was I was getting ready to go out. And I'd done my makeup and stuff, and I was sitting down and I was just having some of my parents had cooked some dinner just before I was.
Your dad had cooked some dinner because he'd been on the weed.
I think it was actually probably my mum this time because it was stir fry. My mum kills a stir fry. Anyway.
Good job, Mrs. Spark.
Yeah, she kept her surname Harris. Anyway, Ms. Harris. She had. Do you know that midwife period drama with Miranda Hart in it? People listening will know. It's a TV show with Miranda Hart.
Is it called The Good Midwife?
No, I don't think so.
There's a show called The Good Wife. I thought they might have made one called The Good Midwife.
The mediocre midwife.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's this. I've only seen this episode. I was watching it fine, and it was about this woman that had an affair with a black man, and she was in a marriage with an abusive white man. And
why does the colour matter?
Because the baby wasn't white.
Okay, that makes sense. I was like, we're getting hella racist in this.
No. And she knew that she had to give the baby up, but because of timing wise, she only had half an hour to say goodbye to the child before the abusive husband would find out and come home and find out, because she could pass it off as a miscarriage. He knew she was pregnant, but like all that kind of crap. Anyway, and she's just saying goodbye, and then they start having to take the baby off, and she obviously starts crying. And again, I go from literally this kind of tone of conversation, chatting to you, watching the TV show, to bawling, like within 1 second. And my mum felt so bad. My mum was like, "I should have known. I shouldn't have put this TV show on in front of you. I feel so bad. I'm so sorry." And I was like, "No, it's fine. I didn't know it was coming either." So just sometimes it takes me by surprise, but. Yeah.
I just thought of a great joke.
Go on.
Of you saying I didn't know it was coming either. Like, I mean, if we just tie that in, I don't know how it worked in my head, but that was like him on top of you being like, "I didn't know it was coming either." But I mean, it is what it is. We can laugh about it now. Again, shout out Tom Byrne, what a great guy.
Doesn't know how to pull out.
Yeah. Doesn't know how to pull out, but fucking fatherhood though.
What a dick.
Question for you, and I probably know the answer for this, but I want to hear your take on it right
Okay.
now. Do you feel like it is more irresponsible and unfair to have a child and put it up for adoption?
Well, I feel like I'm going to surprise you with my answer.
Mm-hmm.
If the person wants to have the child and put it up for adoption, that is their choice. So I would never say whether it's the right or wrong thing to do.
Okay.
It's just completely up to them. Like, that's the one thing I've really learned from this. Before this, before having a pregnancy and a termination, I would have projected my own beliefs on it. But now, the older I get and the further I get away from it, the more I am so accepting. I'm even accepting of people that are pro-life. Mm-hmm. Because it's their choice to have that opinion. They can believe that if they want to. They can put their energy into that, as long as they don't actually make someone feel, which they will, but as long as they don't hurt someone. If they just sit at home with that opinion, power to you, have that opinion, you go for it. But I'm not going to waste my time changing your mind. Personally, I would never have a kid and then put it up for adoption. If I have the kid, I'd have the kid. Mm-hmm. But that's my own call. I wouldn't, if I met someone that had done that, I wouldn't feel any difference towards them. It's completely their decision.
Right. The reason I asked the question was because my mum was an adopted child. So that's why I asked the question, because I think about it. I think in your situation, that possibility, if my mum wasn't born, then put up for adoption, had the upbringing she brought, moved to the part of the country she was, a lot of things wouldn't have fallen into place. Yeah. So it's like, I value that a lot and I respect that a lot, but I'm also with you in terms of whatever is going to make you happy for that stage in life, because it wasn't easy for her mother to give birth to this child.
She would have thought about it for the rest of her life.
And then be like, well, luckily they got to meet back up. And when I meet Nana Mags, shout out to Nana Mags in New Plymouth, what's going on, Dal? She's wild, mate. She's so wild. And it just makes
legend,
it just makes so much sense. But I'd love to talk to her more about it on this podcast, because obviously my whole family are content. But as much as my dad hates it. I would love to listen
to that, because I really don't. I like. I've been told by, you get told by people like, oh, you're a comedian, that's really brave.
Yeah. And
stuff. And then I've had people also do it about the abortion thing. I think it's way braver to have the kid and put it up for adoption.
Yeah.
That is like you're tearing your soul in two.
One thing I will tell you about my Nana Mags is that I was approached for an idea for a TV show, and I planned out a TV show where she would fly from New Zealand to Australia, and I'd take her on a full tour of Queensland, 6,000 kilometres around Queensland.
Fuck yes.
We'd film for 6 weeks, 13 episodes, and we'd go to like regional towns in Australia, and I'd be like, Nan, this is my home.
Yes.
And she's just a loose unit. Like, we'd get on the piss, we'd fucking milk cows, like fucking round up sheep.
Can I do a cameo?
It didn't happen. It didn't make it.
No, you can still do that.
We budgeted it out, basically. They were like, maybe we might have about 15 grand, and I was like, we can't do it for less than 45. Like, it was going to be expensive. We've got to pay for the caravan, we've got to pay people to film it, it's a whole crew involved.
You don't have to pay people to film it. You can literally you could pay. If you get
This is not a discussion about a TV show that never happened. I did end up doing a different TV show, which was fine.
You know, one thing I would love to do with you is the rickshaw run. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
So me and you film that. Us do the rickshaw run. We'll kill each other. But it'll be so funny.
I've met someone that's done it.
Oh man,
I can't remember who they were though, but somebody told me they went. Is it in Brazil?
No, it's in India.
It's in India, that's right.
You have to go from the Wesley Point to the most easterly point.
I'd love to do a top to bottom of like Vietnam or Thailand as well.
Yeah. Look, I reckon me and you would be a really good travelling episode show.
Well, these are all ideas for another time.
That we're going to fucking do.
Yeah, okay. Let's just focus on doing the
I
fucking
don't let
podcast.
go of shit, mate. I've told you. I hold on to crap.
She's
it
like
doesn't
the elephant.
go. I've got a locked jaw.
So, if people want to follow you on the socials, where can they find you, Anna?
At the moment, my Instagram is your first ex-wife.
Suck shit, Tom Byrne.
Damn straight. And then I've got my social media page on Facebook, which is just like Anna Spark. If you just search that in pages, that will come up. And
don't add you on your personal, you won't accept.
Well, it's just I will get confused because I don't know you. And then please, I'd prefer to keep all my comedy stuff to one thing because it just gets confusing. And then my Twitter handle is Anna Bright Spark. And then, oh God, what's my
Snapchat?
Yeah.
Anna Bright Spark?
Is it that?
I think so.
Yeah, Anna Bright Spark or Anna Dot Spark.
Are you looking for dick pics? Is that why you're giving out your Snapchat?
They can send them, but I've got a bigger one.
Whoa, we're going to leave it there.
I'm
but
just going to screenshot it and post it to my page.
her Edinburgh show is called Holy Fetus. Our Edinburgh show is called Sticks in the Bush and Outback Adventure.
Experience.
Sorry, I thought it was an Outback Adventure.
Do you want it to be adventure?
Oh, I don't know if it'll be an adventure or an experience. I think experience makes more sense.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, these are kinks we've got to iron out. The show's going to be August 2019, so keep a look at it.
Yeah, it's 9 months away, which is ironic.
Amazing!
So alone.
If you
I never meet anyone, and then I look back at that abortion and go, that could have been that's my only kid. That's it. I should have just had that one. Damn it. No, I'm kidding. I'll adopt people like your mum.
Sweet, and we're going to leave it there as Anna derails one of the great podcasts of our time. But thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for being so honest as well.
That's okay.
I know some of that stuff you haven't shared with anybody in this life you've created over here, so now you've shared it with, I don't know, however many cunts feel like listening
people?
to this. Nah, we'll get more than that. 33. No, but share this podcast with your friends if you're enjoying what the fuck's happening on here. I quite enjoy doing this for you. So
I love it. And can I quickly say that if there's anyone listening that is going through a pregnancy scare or real pregnancy or knows someone who is, just let them know that it's completely normal to feel absolutely shit and alone, and it's not going to last forever, and to not be scared to actually ask for help through a counsellor or a psychologist, because I had to seek that, and that's completely fine as well. You don't need to be diagnosed with depression to actually need some help. So don't let yourself sit on your own with it, because it's a normal situation, and whatever you're choosing to do is the right thing to do.
Absolutely. Well, we will leave it there. Thank you very much, Miss Anna Spark.
Thank you.
And I don't know who the next guest is going to be, but fuck it, you'll find out.
Bye.